Alright, so I'm sure you guys already saw my review of Godzilla vs. Spider-Man I did with Matt Denian, which, if you haven't already, go check that out. But there was another comic I also bought alongside it, and that was Godzilla vs. America, Godzilla vs. Los Angeles. So, yeah, this is the other one. I did do a review of Versus Chicago a few months back, and I've already pre-ordered the next one, which will be Godzilla vs. Boston. I can't remember if the last one's supposed to be either New York or DC. I don't know what that is, which one that is going to be. Chicago, like, for those who are unaware what the story is for these comics, basically the story is that Godzilla is just, it's an anthology series. It's a bunch of one and done stories of Godzilla destroying a city, like just destroying or attacking a city in America. Chicago had some really solid stories. I felt like it was a strong opener. It also incorporated a lot of the things going on in the city. So I was looking forward to Los Angeles. Although there is something I do have to stress is that yes, I know someone in the comments is probably going to say this is in poor taste. But you have to remember, even IDW brought this up several times over before the comic even published, is that this story was already done. Like, these comics get finished months in advance. It was poor timing, and they had no idea that the Los Angeles fires were going to happen. So, yeah, there's also something else that I think I would have to stress with this. If I would recommend buying this book, because all proceeds to this comic are going to donations for those houses lost in the fire. And I know someone's going to be like, oh, a bunch of rich people in LA. No, a lot of the people who lost their homes and now insurance companies will not pay for them. So anything helps. So, yeah. Just wanted to bring that up. So they had no idea that that was going to happen and are now making something bad out of a situation they were just like, oh. That's literally all the IDW could do at that moment was just, oh. They had no idea that was going to happen, so I gotta give them credit for that. So let's actually talk about the comic on a whole. Like, let's actually discuss the comic as is. Like I said, it's an anthology of stories. It's about 4 stories, and they all incorporate the city, as in case with Chicago. That doesn't feel the case here. That doesn't really feel the LA book doesn't really feel like it's a Godzilla versus Los Angeles story. It just feels like Godzilla attacking generic town that feels like Los Angeles. That's what it really kind of feels like at the end of the day. The 4 comics really don't feel anything that make you go, oh, this is LA. The first one, Eye in the Sky, is about a group of air traffic reporters who get caught in the middle of Godzilla battling some U.S. drones. In the ensuing battle, what happens is that the reporter and the pilot end up on, the helicopter crashes, and they actually jump onto Godzilla's body. So they're in the middle of a fight. It kind of reminds me of a comic that occurred not too long ago, actually years ago, when IDW first had Godzilla's rights, and they did this thing called Legends, where it had a dude climbing up Godzilla's spine, and it was supposed to be a spotlight on Kumanga. It was a whole thing, but it reminded me of that. Although whenever, how the story ends, they don't talk about these reporters probably are not going to live long afterwards, because Godzilla is just a walking radiation field, so I would imagine they both have cancer now, and are probably not long for this world afterwards, even though it ends on a very nice note. The comic I do really love the artwork in here. Case in point, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it's stuff like that. The artwork by the artist, Sandy Tanaka, with illustrations by Gabriel Hardman, who Gabriel Hardman I'm aware of. He's a writer/artist before, so I'd kind of want Hardman to go and do more Godzilla. He has this kind of dark, brooding feel to Godzilla. So I'd kind of like to see Hardman do more. The next story is more of a comedy story. In fact, the other 3 are basically comedy stories. Eye in the Sky really feels more like the only one that was really serious, as the rest were more, hey, we're just gonna have fun, kooky fun, and all. Yeah. The next one is Big Break, which is written by Jordan Morrison. Yes, I am looking at the table of contents, so I would remember the names. And basically, this story is kind of a dig at Universal Studios Hollywood. That's really what it is that they couldn't use Godzilla, they couldn't use Hollywood, so they just call it Galaxy Studios. And they bring up, like, they make digs at, like, King Kong and all that. And it's all about this girl who moved to LA to be an actress, that whole jazz, and is now, like, a tour guide at the tram tour for this park. That's this facsimile of Universal Studios, and Godzilla's there. He just shows up. The story actually has, like, a really good joke where the girl's like, one day I'm gonna be an actress, and someone goes, hey, stop yelling about your future and pipe down. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny. And then it does it again where it's like, all right, I got my apartment and now it's time to fulfill my dreams as an actress. Hey, stop talking about your future and open, it's weird. So, I like that joke. The comic's pretty fun. It's more of a dig at Universal Studios. It's a fun little jab at it. But again, like, if you couldn't call it Universal Studios, then why bother, right? I know you couldn't do Disney either. That'd be way harder. But yeah, the artwork is pretty fun. It has this very, like, fun, just kind of like this fun manga-esque kind of feel to it. It's very cartoony. I enjoy it. It was cute. The following story is called How to Survive Los Angeles Metro how to use the Los Angeles Metro during a Godzilla attack. And what this comic basically is treated as not only a comic, but also treated as like a survival guide in case of a kaiju attack. In this case, and this is the only one that really feels like we're in LA. Like, this is the only one out of these 4 stories that really made me feel like, okay, this story is set in Los Angeles, and yeah, it actually pertains to, like, a survival packet most people would get for Los Angeles during an earthquake, and which ones to take during the Metro. So yeah, I think that's my favorite. I thoroughly enjoyed, like, how they equate using Godzilla to how they use it, like, for natural disasters, going back to what Godzilla is just a walking natural disaster as he's intended. The final story is just kind of meh. It's a bunch of young heroes getting together to make a robot and fight Godzilla. The title is pretty funny, called Godzilla LA. You get it? It's just kind of an okay story. All in all, I would say this is, like, I did enjoy Chicago, and I'm curious about Boston. Maybe they'll have Godzilla step on Foxborough Stadium. As I was saying, this one, like, these comics are just meant to get writers in the door, and that's what the core of it is. And I would suggest picking it up if you are a Godzilla fan, but also if you want to have your own way, because again, all of these proceeds are going to a donation fund to Los Angeles. So that's I think that's a good enough cause to begin with. But it's at the end of the day, if you want to use that, it's your money. You use it how you see it. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That is my review of Godzilla vs. America, Los Angeles, or Godzilla. I just call it. You'll see the title, whatever the fuck. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's my review. Once again, I'd like to remind everyone that if you hit the link in the description below, hit the first tier. That'll allow you access to check out my movie reviews and episode reviews. And like I said in the previous video, my review of Thunderbolts is out. So again, if you'd like to check that out, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over there, hit the first tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.